All right, so you can see the tall tee there. I like that drill. It does two things. One is when we're trying to flight the ball down, it's gonna help de-loft the face a little bit, right? We gotta de-loft the club face to flight the golf ball down lower. The second thing is it's gonna help us not get too steep on the attack angle. Oftentimes we get real steep trying to hit it low, and then as we get steep, we throw the club shaft at it and then we add loft to the face. We launch it high and it's got a lot of spin. So we want to de-loft the face, right? And then we want to kind of shallow out that attack angle, and that tall tee can help that, as it really worked well for him. So how do we de-loft the club face? Well, the first thing is the lead wrist coming down at some point has to start to flatten out, or has to start to bow out. Now, whether you do that at the top, if we look from the target line here, whether we're kind of curling that wrist at the top, or we're starting to curl that left hand coming down, or we bring it to impact and then we curl it right at impact, right? And we see all three of those in the context of the swing out there in professional golf. Now, what I like to do with a lot of players is get them to feel it somewhere here at the top or maybe on the way down. And you can see, as with Cohen, we were starting to kind of curl that left hand as he was starting to come down. His tendency is he would kind of pull on the handle a little bit, right? And that lead wrist would be cupped, right? So we were feeling like the hands would just kind of stay there, and then he would start to curl that left hand. The bottom three, check this out here, Tom. These three, right? We talk about this a lot here. These three fingers starting to kind of curl underneath and taking that Callaway there up towards the sky like that. All right, so we're starting to get that left hand to flatten out, might feel bowed, and then from there, I can start to carry that to impact. My right wrist is bent, my right elbow is bent with that left hand flat and curling into impact. Look at that club shaft leaning forward at impact. So that's kind of how we start to get some lag, how we start to get some forward shaft lay, de-lofting that club face. Now, attack angle, right? You can see here with this ball teed very, very high, it'd be difficult for me to get too steep on it, right? His tendency would come down and we would get really steep on it, and then we'd have to throw the wrist angles at the bottom. So with that tall tee, if I got too steep, I would hit right down underneath it, and he did that a few times. So when shallowing out the attack angle, he would really feel like this left shoulder would start to work up and around. And so much of that from the target line here is that extension in the spine, right? So you can see the extension in the spine this way. His tendency would kind of hang out too much down like this, kind of hit down on it too much, and then throw the wrist angles. So as we start to come down with the wrist angles, we start to turn and extend the spine, and that left shoulder starts to work up and around out of the way, shallowing out the attack angles. This is an excellent drill. You take your 7-iron, you start to work on those wrist angles, you start to work on the extension in your spine, and you can hit these nice flighted shots with your short irons. There it is. Nice flighted shot. Could be a little counterintuitive, right? If I tee the ball really high, it's going to cause me to hit it way up in the air. So you can see I took that right off that tall tee. So we start with that, we hit some shots, and then we just take the same concepts all the way down to the ground. There it is. A nice flighted down 7-iron. You can do this with your 8-iron. You can do this with your 9-iron. You can do it down with your wedges. I like this shot. I think it really breeds proper hand alignment or wrist alignment. It starts to breed the proper spine angle, the proper rotation. All of those things are. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you liked it. And remember, leave a comment if you have any questions. And most importantly, subscribe right here to Travis Fulton Golf so I can help you with your game long term.